Now we're going to make Patlicanli pilav, which is a rice with eggplant. Rice is a staple of Turkish cuisine. It's eaten all throughout the Mediterranean and all across the world. It goes with everything, and it definitely goes great with our lamb chops that's marinating in the fridge and our olive oil side dish, enginar or artichokes. For our Patlicanli pilav, or rice with eggplant, we'll need a teaspoon of tomato paste, 4 cloves of garlic chopped, 3 tablespoons of butter, 1 chopped onion, 2 grated tomatoes, 8 ounces of washed and drained rice, some salt, and for our eggplant, which we're going to fry, we're going to need 1 Italian eggplant, some oil for frying, which I have here, and some water with salt. So what I'm going to do first is take our eggplant and slice it quarter ways and let it soak in the salt water. This allows the salt to absorb in, as well as to get rid of a lot of those bitter juices. So what you could do is, I like to take a peeler because it's a really sharp knife, and peel it down the middle. And then peel it again, so you want it quarter ways, and then slice down. Now usually when you're soaking this, you let it soak for about a half an hour or 40 minutes. But because these are small pieces, 15 minutes it's ample time. And some people don't always soak it in the water. Some people just sprinkle some salt on top. I just find this gets better salt soaked all the way through. And then once it's soaked, you're just going to squeeze out the excess salt, and we're going to fry them and then drizzle them over our delicious rice. So right now we want our skillet over here to get really nice and hot. And then we're going to start preparing our rice, and then by the time that the rice is done, we'll be able to fry this really quickly and just sprinkle it on top. Now one way to check and see if your skillet is nice and hot is just take a dab of water and throw it on there. If you hear it sizzle, then you know it's nice and hot. So what we're going to do is put in our butter, and what I like to do is also add a little extra virgin olive oil because it just adds a little flavor and a nice shine as well. Just want this to melt, and then we're going to add in our onion. We're going to let that caramelize just a little bit. Then we're going to add in our garlic and our grated tomatoes. So now we can add in our garlic and our grated tomatoes. And I like grating the tomatoes because it gets it really nice and pureed instead of chopping it. For me, it adds a better flavor, and then this way it's almost like a tomato sauce. See that sizzling? So now we can add our rice, and make sure this is washed and drained. You just want to throw it back and forth, just brown it for about a minute or so. We can add in our tomato paste, a little bit of salt, and then once that minute is up, we can add 1 cup of boiled water. And we're going to bring it to a boil, cover, and let it simmer until all the water is soaked up. And the tomato paste gives it a really nice color too. It just gives it like that nice deep red color. And this is going to be great. When all is said and done, we're going to just sprinkle on our eggplant. It's going to be really delicious. And it's going to go great with our lamb chops, which are still marinating. Those are going to be really great and juicy. So this looks like it's just about ready. I'm just going to take my boiled water, which I have already boiled. Let that come to a nice boil. And always eyeball it. If you think you need more water, just add a little more. Sometimes you only need just a cup because you have the juices of the tomato and of course the juices of the onion. Alright, so this is boiled. I'm just going to cover, let it simmer, and then I'm going to check on our eggplant. So once you see that your oil is nice and hot, we could even hear it sizzling. We're just gonna squeeze the excess water out of the eggplants and then fry them up in our skillet. And these are gonna shrink when you fry them, so you could fill it up, don't be afraid. They're gonna fry up real fast. The eggplant is used all throughout Turkish cuisine. It's great as an appetizer or a main dish. You could stuff it, saute it. It's a great vegetable because it's available all year round. All right. So it seems like our eggplants are just about fried up. And I'm just gonna check on our rice, and that looks done too. So we're just gonna shut that off. Now what I'm gonna do is place the eggplants on top of the rice. And then I'm going to put a paper towel, close it, and let it steam for about 15 minutes. And then we could flake it out with a fork and blend it all together. So I have my paper towel right here. So we're going to let that steam for about 15 minutes while we get ready to start grilling up our lamb chops. So now that our delicious pirzola is cooked, we're gonna get ready to put our rice on our great serving tray. And what I like to do first is take a fork and just steam it up, get it nice and flaky. And you could just mix the eggplant in with the fork. Just gives it a great combination of color. And you wanna slowly spoon it on your tray. We can even garnish it with a little bit of parsley. This is gonna go great with our lamb chops. Can't wait to eat it. It smells good, it looks great, and it's healthy. It's rice. Rice is one of the healthiest things you can eat, and it's delicious, especially with all of our seasonings that we put on it, the tomato and the onions and the garlic. So great. What we could do is we could just take a few eggplants, put it on top. And what I like to do is garnish with a piece of parsley, which I'll just steal one from here because we'll just improvise. Place it in the middle, and here we have our delicious Patlicanli pilav, or rice with eggplant. It goes great with our lamb chops, and I know you're going to enjoy it. So here we are at the end of another delicious Turkish meal. We've made the king of all olive oil dishes, the artichoke, rice with eggplant, and the succulent lamb chops. But there's so much more to Turkish cuisine. The possibilities are endless. I thank you for your interest and thank you for watching. Afiyet olsun.
That's the end of another great show. Now that we've showed you the tricks and trades to preparing a fast and delicious Turkish meal, you could cook it every day. So keep sending us your emails and letting us know what you'd like to see. I'm Janine Aloisi, and I'll see you next week.